Hello, my name is Ron Prescott. I'm with Iowa State University Extension and Outreach. A number of communities have asked for the Iowa Trade Analysis reports, and they can be found at the following webpage, icip.iastate.edu/retail. And those PDF files can be downloaded for both county and cities in Iowa. This is a short video report that some of the communities have asked for, and so it generally lasts less than 5 minutes and can be requested by the email during the closing slide. So I hope you enjoy the video and gain some information from it. This is the Retail Trade Analysis Report for fiscal year 2012 for Mechanicsville. On the first page of the report, you'll see some statistics for the retail total taxable sales. Last year, 2011, 3.5 million. This year, 3.9, for an increase this year of 12%, which is pretty substantial coming out of the recession. Number of reporting firms, 37 in 2011, and added 2 firms that were reporting this year, 39, for an increase of 5%. Population basically holding the same at about 1,141. Average sales per firm up about 5%, which would correspond to the number of reporting firms. Average sales per capita, 3,400, which is also an increase of 12%, which matches the trend in the retail total taxable sales. This chart is looking at the total taxable retail sales and the number of reporting firms since 2003. So in blue, you see the real sales, and this is in millions, 4.6 back in 03. And you see it travels along relatively flat, a little bit of a decrease, drops during the recession in 08 and comes back a little bit in 09, and actually has had some fairly decent growth given the national recession to 3.98 in 2012, which it is pretty close to what we see. It's been a sluggish recovery in retail, and this is about what we would expect to see on a national level, actually. Population trends for peer cities. Each one of the cities in Iowa is grouped together in a peer group. Mechanicsville is in Group 5 East. There's so many in this group that we've actually divided the state in 2. So we have 5 East and 5 West. And in the report, you'll see those printed out if you want to visit some of these cities. So this particular group is 5 East. So here we're comparing those peer cities to Mechanicsville. And this chart starts at 2002. Notice the grid, though, that it's 100% to 95%. And so what looks like a substantial drop in population over 10 years is really only about 2% drop. And so, but it is more than what the peer group has shown as an average drop in population in that same period of time. Here's another population trend, but we've thrown in the state of Iowa and Cedar County. So Mechanicsville is the red line, Cedar County is the red dotted, and state of Iowa is the blue dash line. So the state of Iowa has been growing at about 5% from 2002. Cedar County has also grown a couple of percent since 2002. Mechanics, as we saw in the last chart, has probably dropped off about 2% since 2002. Out of those 115 or so cities that are in your peer group, here's the top 10 with Cedar at the top, and these are ranked by per capita sales. So these are per capita sales for the population reported in Cedar. So we just take the total sales reported and divided by the population. So you can see what your competition is. Mechanicsville comes in about 3,488. And so we can talk about this a little bit later, but there's some different things we could do as a strategy to maybe increase that up a little bit. This is another factor. If you were to take a bundle of groceries per family and say, okay, this is what they're spending, and then the pull factor is actually can be explained that this is the percentage of goods that they're actually buying in Mechanicsville. So in the case here, if you have less than 1, that means they're going somewhere else to buy 100% of their groceries. If it's over 100%, you're actually pulling in more people than you have population into Mechanicsville. And if you have over 1, usually that indicates that you're more of a regional trade center. When you're below 1, that usually means that you're going somewhere for shopping. So in the case here, the peer group is in the dotted blue line, and has been running around 0.5, meaning that about half the population in most of your peer cities buy what they need locally. In the case of Mechanicsville, it's about a third of that, and it's been sitting there for a number of years. If you look back to 2003, it's about 35%, and today it's at 32%. And that's pretty typical of what we see in the smaller communities, that it's been tough to hold on to those retail businesses, and people are being drawn to larger cities to shop for retail. There's just a couple things I wanted to summarize on this Mechanicsville report. One is, with a town your size, you really need to focus on the core retail needs of your community. The fuel stations and maybe a multi-purpose grocery, all-purpose kind of store, and discuss the strategy to meet those needs and what your core community really needs. And there may be some opportunities to bring in some folks from outside as far as retail, to pull in some of those retail factors. Some small towns have had great things come from some niche market ideas, whether it's a unique restaurant or a unique specialty store or some unique business, arts and crafts. The other thing I mentioned earlier is you have about 115 cities. I think there's nearly 300 in both of the groups, number 5. But find out what the other cities in your peer group are doing and what you may not be doing, and just organize a group to visit a couple of your peer group cities. It's good to get out, and it's good to take a look at those folks. But when you're picking those folks, don't pick the top of the peer group. There's reasons that they're at the top of the peer group, and some of it may be just geographic location, and some of it is because they have particular businesses located near them or inside their cities. And so what I would try to do is really pick somebody that's in a closer grouping in statistics to what your city is, and maybe pick somebody where their retail sales per capita is just a little bit higher, about the same population, about the same geographic distance. Something like Highway 30 coming through. There's a major thoroughfare coming alongside the city. The other thing, because of Highway 30, make sure you update your business social media sites. I mean, there's still people that are cruising along the interstate. They're using things like Yelp or Foursquare or other social media that are locating coffee shops or locating gas stations. And if that information isn't up to date, you really have a tough chance of bringing them into Mechanicsville. So because of Highway 30, I guess I would also pay some attention to that. Your report can be found here at http://www.icipiastate.edu, and that's a /retail and then /city, and you'll see Mechanicsville listed there in alphabetical order. My name is Ron Prescott. I'm the retail specialist for ISU Extension Outreach within the Community and Economic Development. Thank you.